Piers Morgan got a harsh reality check that reminded him that being a progressive liberal is not gonna work. You can only keep the mask on for so long. No matter how progressive they are, how left-leaning they are, how much they believe in rights laws, it's only a matter of time until he grows his nuts and says, I'm not accepting this no more. This is disgusting. And I'm here to tell you guys, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way at all. Do not let these try to tell you that you should accept it ever. Basically, the reason why I'm on early, guys, is because I was supposed to do a interview with Piers Morgan. But what ended up, it was supposed to be me, Piers, Sneeko, and Tiki Taki, HS. But what happened was, as I was sitting there waiting in the Zoom lobby, right? We're supposed to go at 2:00 Eastern. He gets into this exchange with HS, and HS mentions his wife. For those of you that are not aware, Piers Morgan's wife is, there's some problems there. Okay, here she is right here. We've talked about this before. Here she is with him. Her name is Celia Walden, and here she is in this picture here. Posted a snap on Instagram with the caption, "When the husband is away, Mr. Suds comes to play," which is insane to post on Instagram or Snapchat, or it looks like, this is Instagram. But she posted this on her snap as well. You got some dude with a Speedo, right? He didn't even show this. He showed something else, if I'm not mistaken. And it just pissed Piers off. And he just said, I'm done. Bro was pissed off, man, really mad. Let me see if I can find the clip for you guys real fast. And I was like, what the fuck? I wake up to do this shit, right? And bro just rage quits. I'm on the Zoom call, laughing my off as him and the HS are going back and forth. Here it is, right here. Let me get some of these. Things here. Sorry, guys, my screen is all cleared because I was getting ready to obviously do the Zoom call and everything else like that. Hold on, not OSS. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this for y'all real quick.
No, I couldn't care less about your silly little insults. It's like a.
And this started because they were arguing. He was trying to say that HS was a homophobe. That's what he was. That's how this argument kind of started. He was saying you're a homophobe, blah blah blah, trying to get him on that.
2-year-old. Why would I care?
A two-year-old. Listen, sir, I don't know why you come on and you talk like you're holier than thou. As soon as you're away,
all right,
who's this? Applications are open.
All right,
that's your ting, bro. That's your girl.
He also brought up the Epstein files as well, and that really pissed him off.
Send this, please.
Cooked.
You know what? I'm not doing this. Sorry, guys. It's pointless.
I know.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah, made bro rage quit off his own show, man. See, and let's take a lesson from this, chat. Let's take a lesson from this, okay? Here's the reality. They'll try to sit there and tell you that it's okay for to be horse. They'll sit there and try to tell you that it's okay for you to be in an open relationship. They'll try to tell you it's okay for your, to have a promiscuous past, all this other bull. But the reality is, your hardcore instincts as a man, right? As a red-blooded male, no matter how much of a pussy or beta you are, it's still going to bother you when you see your wife acting like a I'm sorry. Clearly, it got to Piers because we're all human. We're all men, okay? We understand the reality that it's unacceptable for your wife to be engaged in certain behaviors, right? It is what it is. Now, they'll try to tell you that it's okay, it's acceptable, but even the most wokey of woke guys will get off about it. Let me see if I can find another clip for you guys here. There was a clip here of, let me find it for you guys. There was a clip of Hassan off when I think it was Valkyrie, one of these these Twitch 304s, said some you want to find out, and you can see that Hassan visibly got angry, right? Hold on, I'm trying to find the clip. Trying to find it for you guys right now. Because the problem with these leftists, right, and these progressives, is they try to sit there and tell you that they're accepting of women and their promiscuous behavior, like it's okay to accept this, whatever. Bro, deep down, it bothers all men, dude, okay? As a man, no matter how much of a liberal you are, it is always going to bother you finding out that your girl is a 304. It's gonna bother you every time, dude. It is, okay? I don't care what anybody says. They'll try to sit there and make it like it doesn't bother them, but it does, okay? The only difference between us and them is that guys like me are honest about it, and we tell you guys you should not accept that bull. Do not accept promiscuous. Do not. So, but progressives sit there and try to tell you, oh, no, it's okay, no big deal. And they say that for their audience because they don't want to lose their female audience. Because the thing is, when it comes to women, is they want all the power and the authority with like zero responsibility. Zero responsibility. And they want all the benefits. I'll give you guys another example of this right now, as a matter of fact. Can someone in my OSS, one of you guys get me the link, please, for that? One of you guys get me the link for that clip with Hassan and Valkyrie, whatever the fuck her name is? I'm trying to find. Someone's probably going to find it. Yeah, these girls are talentless, dude. Anyway, let me go here. And the other thing also, let me find, what was the other thing I was going to show you guys? Oh, on my Twitter feed, right? So I tweeted this literally right before coming on live. Let me show you guys this shit. So it says here, the WNBA is expected to move toward 1 million salaries following major pay gains. Angel Reese pushed hard to get more money for the players. This marks a big win for them, right? In the world that know me best. Okay, I don't want to. Right, it's. I got the money and the fame. Now we're not gonna play that because it's all copyrighted. How much did the WNBA profit last year? The WNBA doesn't release official profit numbers, but 2025 marked the first time it triggered revenue sharing under the old CBA. Let me go ahead and answer that for you. There's a reason why they don't tell you guys. They profit nothing, okay? They profit nothing. And this is what I wrote down. I said, yo, why should they be paid more when they generate no revenue? The WNBA is negative every year. If the NBA were negative, it would go out of business. Why do we have this intense need to platform mediocrity? Sports are mediocre and completely unnecessary at a professional level. For character development to prevent them from being sports at elementary, middle, high school, and maybe even college can be justified, but it ends there. No one cares about professional sports. Let's keep it 1,000, bro. Let's keep it 1,000. No one gives a fuck about sports because sports suck, okay? They suck, all right? Even feminists don't go to WNBA games. And why should they? It's garbage. Why? So I'm tired of the okay? I'm tired of the progressive. Let's just have a very honest conversation. In general, tend to be useless to society outside of having children. I said it. I'm going to say that again. Women tend to be useless outside of having children. Okay? Now, I know people are going to be pissed off about me saying this, but it's the fucking truth. Okay? It's the fucking truth. They suck at sports. They don't really invent anything. No one wants to watch them compete really unless you're a loving father or family member, which is why I said sports at a elementary, high school, middle school, and even maybe collegiate level might be worth it. But once you start getting into professional sports, well, there needs to be money made. Professional means you make money doing it. Okay? And unfortunately, no one gives a fuck about professional sports. They suck. So why the fuck are we over here subsidizing the WNBA when it's garbage and no one wants to watch it? Even feminists don't watch the WNBA. Nobody watches professional sports ever. Get the fuck out of here with that, okay? And if people do watch sports, 9 out of 10 times, it's perverts watching beach volleyball. Let's be honest here. Ain't nobody tuning in saying like, oh, I'm keeping up with the WNBA. Get the out of here with that, dude. And I'm tired of us sugarcoating the truth that suck at almost everything. They don't really produce for society. They don't really do anything like that crazy. Every single real invention or innovation or revolution was led by men, okay? Yes. Can women do the same things as men? Yes. But who's better? Men. Just because it's possible doesn't mean it's optimal. I'm going to say that again for all you retards out there. Just because it's possible doesn't mean it's optimal. So in other words, since they suck at most things, they need to do what they're actually good at and what they're put on earth to do. Have kids. I'm tired of having to sugarcoat mediocrity by saying, oh no, it's great. Yeah. Sports. Yeah. They suck. They suck at everything. Now, let's go into the other thing that because this is what progressives do. Progressives will sit there and lie and say, feminism, yeah, let's get them paid more, blah, 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 even though they're negative. No meritocracy. Here's the other thing that we need to have discussion on. As you guys can see, Piers Morgan was visibly angry and upset and canceled his own show after being confronted with his wife's promiscuous behavior. What did this moment really reveal? Because to the blind eye, it's just a guy trolling Piers Morgan, giving him back, a little bit of a taste of his own medicine with that antagonistic journalism, right? And roasting him. But let's dig a little bit deeper, okay? Piers Morgan has prided himself on being a somewhat progressive journalist. He believes in feminism. He believes in multiculturalism. He believes in immigration to a degree. He doesn't like racism. He doesn't like bigotry, right? He doesn't like anti-Semitism. Basically, he goes against every single thing that I talk about. We're going to be honest, right? But when confronted with his own wife's promiscuous behavior, which is supposed to be championed by him, by the way, with progressive ideals and feminism, because I would argue that your wife having sex with other men is literally the tip of the sphere when it comes to what feminism is trying to do. What have I told you guys before? Feminism was about equality maybe in the beginning, but now it's about removing responsibility from bad behavior. And more importantly, it's about removing shame from poor behavior. This is an ideology that Piers Morgan has adopted, pushed, and actually tried to defend today. His goal today was to bring me, HS, Sneeko, Justin Waller, and challenge us on our viewpoints when it comes to, right, why we look at the genders differently, why we view the way that we view, why we believe that men need to behave in certain ways. But what Piers Morgan and Louis Theroux and all these other left-wing loser progressive, they're not asking the right question. What they need to ask is, why are we popular? Why has there been a surge in this type of content? Why has it become so popularized amongst young men? Why has the manosphere and or Redpill content had a meteoric rise over the past several years? Well, besides the fact that Fresh and Fit spearheaded it, just kidding. But we definitely had a planet. I'll tell you why. Because the leftist narrative, the progressive narrative, this accepting narrative doesn't serve men. It doesn't. And I'll prove it to you right now. When Piers got a taste of his own medicine and HS confronted him on his wife's promiscuous behavior, which feminism promotes, Piers, his internal circuitry of being a man, finally kicked in. And he could no longer keep the mask on of progressivism, of acceptance, of feminism. And he got angry. Rightfully so. Rightfully so, by the way. Your woman embarrassing you like this and posting all this shit on the fucking internet is completely unacceptable. But in order to keep this, this image out there of being a progressive and being a feminist and accepting females however they are, he kind of let it ride. But when confronted with this uncomfortable fact, he raged out. Rightfully so, because he's a red-blooded man at the end of the day. And this is what I'm here to tell you. The only difference between people like me and Piers Morgan or me and Louis Theroux is I have the nuts to say that run America. I have the nuts to say they need to be in subordinate positions. I have the nuts to tell you guys that Indians are invading our country with H-1B visas. I have the nuts to tell you guys that commit a disproportionate amount of violent crime. And I tell you this unapologetically. I say what all of us are thinking. Meanwhile, these media hacks tiptoe around issues, pretend to adopt other issues, pretend to care about certain issues, but deep down, they know I'm right. And when you guys saw Piers Morgan walk off his own show, it embodies what I've always told you guys. I simply say what everyone else is too right to say. And that is why we've become so popular over the years. I'm not popular because I'm doing anything revolutionary. I'm popular because I'm telling the truth and everyone is too much of a to be revolutionary. That's what it is. Young men are tired of being lied to. Young men are tired of using them. Young men are tired of getting destroyed in divorce court and family court, losing their children, losing their wealth, getting used and abused, where we allow to be with no consequence. So when a guy like me comes around, or Andrew Tate, or these other guys, and we say, yo, fuck these, do not take them seriously. Only be very restrictive on who you want to decide to marry and date. Guess what? It resonates. Piers Morgan walking off his own show proved me and everybody else right. We have a problem in society. They're out of control. The manosphere is nothing more than a pejorative term used by, yeah, I said that, to label or mislabel the truth, which guys like me and Andrew and others embody and tell you what it is. And Piers Morgan walking off his own show today proved me right. Even a soy boy liberal has a limit. No one wants their wife to be a No one wants to be cucked by their wife. Even someone like Piers. The mask came off, and I'm telling you guys, all men, 99% of them think this way. And that's what you guys need to take away from this. The only difference between us and them is we have the balls to say the truth unapologetically. And if you got a problem with that, whether it's YouTube or Twitch or all the other haters, this is why we've been able to build an audience. This is why people watch us, because we call it what it is. We are not scared to tell the truth. It's just one component of how men have been lied to over decades. The Disney fairy tale, the lies, the courtship, the chivalry. Chivalry's dead and with it. I'm just here to report to you guys the truth. Now, I think it's very important that we have a discussion here. As you guys know, my guy Clavicular has been doing a 30-day stream called Mog World Order, right? And during the course of this streaming, he's had several on his show, or on his stream, right? Several girls here on spring break or some other, right? And many of these girls have boyfriends. And what is Clavicular proving? Well, he's proving what I've been telling you guys for years, that regardless of where they come from, where they live in the United States or whatever, a lot of women have Western ideologies. And that Western ideology is, I can do whatever I want, and if I want to be a whore, I can do that, and I don't expect to be held accountable. This is the modern day mindset. And what I'm trying to tell to you guys is, this is what you need to be prepared for. I love the fact that Clavicular is doing this stream and revealing nature for you guys in 1080p live. I've been telling you guys this about for years. And then it's got the nerve to come in and tell me, well, Myron, not all girls are like that. That's just in Miami. You don't understand. Okay, why is it I go to University of Florida and I'm having a discussion with a college professor and this higher education, no brain up under her fucking head though, at all. Argue with me about biological realities between men and women. Like what? Do I need a study to prove to you that the sky's blue? But this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. We live in a world where reality is not accepted. We live in a world where acknowledging reality is considered misogynistic, bigoted, anti-Semitic, racist, blah, blah, blah. So when someone comes along like me, I don't give a fuck. And I say what it is, whether I'm on YouTube or Twitch or on Rumble or on Kick or any of these platforms, it's refreshing for those that think alike. But it's obviously very dangerous for the progressive that have had the mask on for all these years, like a Louis, like a Piers, etc. And this is why we are becoming popular. Losers like Hassan Piker will tell you men and women are equal, right? A blonde-haired dork like Kyle Kalinske will say, oh, feminism is great. We're all equal. Egalitarianism. Or Piers will champion that, right? Now, you, Tom, you go on a date with some bitch. You treat her like an equal. You do what everybody tells you. You're an egalitarian. You split the check in half. What happens? Fail. You get no callback, you don't get any action, and you wonder, why? I did everything right. Then you open up Kick, and you see this guy Clav with some the type of girls that you chase all the time, and what are they doing? They're getting called. They got to walk on a scale before they walk into the house. They're getting demeaned on camera. They're getting on, and guess what? They still smash. What does that prove? It proves what I've always told you guys. These women are that, quite frankly, you shouldn't take seriously for the most part. Men are inferior to men in almost every single way, and I'm tired of sugarcoating it. They suck at sports. They're not smarter than us. They don't invent anything. They don't contribute to society at the same level. And quite frankly, we have to dumb things down to let them in. And I'm tired of saying that. They literally suck at everything. And the fact that we've been coddling them, saying all these nice things to try to get laid is and this right here with the WNBA, them wanting to get paid the same and all this other, it's comedy, straight comedy. They don't deserve to get paid the same. Because here's the thing. As a man, you understand that you got to work to earn your money. You're not going to get no handouts. And as a matter of fact, you get roasted if you try to ask for handouts. You think NBA players would be fighting to get paid more if the was negative? They're like, well, we can't really justify asking to get paid more because we suck. Rightfully so. But on the other hand, can easily be like, oh, well, I want $1 million too. You suck. You make no money. Who's coming to watch y'all? Nobody. Crickets. Nope. But again, it's because we live in this, I'm telling you guys, we live in a gynocentric social order enforced by men that refuse to acknowledge the stark differences and realities between the genders, which are simply this. Men are responsible for everything, but we have no authority over anything. We have authority over everything, but have responsibility for nothing. And I'm here to tell you guys, that women are inferior to men in almost every single way. And I'm tired of sugarcoating it. And you guys should think the same way too. Because when you don't treat them as an inferior, what do? They go on Instagram talking about when the husband's away, Mr. Suds comes to play. Get the out of here with that. Piers Morgan got a harsh reality check that reminded him that being a progressive liberal is not going to work. You can only keep the mask on for so long. That's why every single guy that marries a star within a couple of years, they're out of there. Yep. You want to know why? They get tired of dudes sending them videos of their girl 5 Nigerians at the same time. So no matter how progressive they are, how left-leaning they are, how much they believe in rights laws, it's only a matter of time until he grows his nuts and says, I'm not accepting this no more. This is disgusting. And I'm here to tell you guys, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way at all. Do not let these try to tell you that you should accept their ever. Do not let these tell you that you should accept their promiscuous past, the way they behave, not obeying you, not listening to you, not making you food. Get the out of here with that shit. Because let me tell you guys the reality. If you don't make enough money, if you're not able to protect her, if you're not charming enough, if your shoelaces don't match, your suit, whatever the because they're out of control nowadays, they will gladly neglect and reject you. Gladly. Will get rid of you for saying you don't like salt. That's where we are. That's where we are now. So guess what? If they reserve the right to leave you for any reason, so do you. But here's the difference. You're not going to put up with their they want to live my life, YOLO, you only live once, blah, blah. Okay, well, guess what? I only smashed once too, bitch. Get the out of here. Recreational use only. We're not accepting poor behavior from anymore. We're not wifing. We're not letting them do whatever the fuck they want to do. We're not going to take that talk back to us. We're not going to take that don't obey us. We're not going to take that don't appreciate us. Don't say thank you. These want you to be a gentleman when they're and what I'm telling you is all these progressive losers will sit there and try to lie to you and tell you, accept that shit. But when the rubber meets the road and they're confronted with that egg reality, real time, what do? They rage quit, bro.
Denied.
Because Piers Morgan is still a man at the end of the day. No matter how much we might make fun of him and say he's a pussy or he's soft, etc., they try to tell you to accept horse. They try to tell you that feminism is good. They try to tell you that equality is the way to go. But when confronted with the reality real time, what do? I'm not doing this anymore. Why? Because is acceptable. Louis Theron went ahead and did an interview with me, and as you guys know, my ex. I mentioned how I want to have multiple ways, right? I mentioned I want to have multiple ways. This snaky cut out almost 3 minutes of content to remove the context. Because on one end, he tries to make it like, this is bad that you want to be polygamous. But then on the other end, he actually agrees with me. You don't believe me? Here's the footage right here. Look at what he says in the documentary versus what he says to me real time. And this is exactly why I recorded this because these guys are snakes. They lie to the men. They try to tell you that it's okay or it is wrong for you to think a certain way. It is wrong for you to want to have multiple. It is wrong for you to have multiple wives. It is wrong for you to tell what to do. It is wrong for you to be a leader. It is wrong for you to not want to be around for serious relationships. We're not listening to you no more. There's a reason why guys like us have become popular because we call it like it is. Let me show you guys how the mainstream media works and why nobody watches or listens to these anymore. Look at what was put in the documentary versus what we actually said when we had the discussion. It's gonna shock you, okay? We're talking about almost 3 minutes of content being cut out that was critical to the context. And I have many more clips like this, by the way. Video's gonna come out probably on Friday. We're just putting some finishing touches on it, but we are gonna expose Louis Theron and this Inside the Manosphere documentary because I knew he was gonna do this, which is why I recorded my own side. I just didn't think he would be this to remove this much context as if I wasn't gonna come back and hit him with the Falcon punch.
Falcon punch!
But here we are. So look at what he says in the documentary and how he edits in the documentary, deceptively cuts it to a scene where I put my head down, which was not a part of this particular conversation. And then you're going to see what was left out. And you're going to actually see that he agrees with me on polygamy. Here we go.
The two would be too tough, you know.
You've backtracked on that already?
So he cuts it, says, you backtrack on that already, right? We're talking about multiple wives. This is what actually happened.
People in this backtracked on that already?
No. Yeah, it's still funny.
No, it's just that I think the way I see it is that we had like a sort of
weird relationship in the past when we started, where he was seeing other girls and kind of like taking seriously, kind of not. And I think if that ever comes to reality, it will have to be some special girls that we have to be in some sort of connection. We accept everything, and we are like in the same.
Yeah, she would need.
And just so you guys know, I had a discussion with her about this, about having girls in and making them friends. Guys, you guys know, my supporters know, I had 3 of the girls that I was talking to go to the fucking Disney World together, bro. Like.
We've talked about this. She would need to get like the other girl. Like I would.
Oh yeah,
I would make a point that I would make a point that they would get along, because I don't think that would be a headache for me.
No, they say about polygamy that number one is that the 2 wives are closer than they are to the husband.
Yeah.
Oh. It seems like he's heard about this before. Interesting.
That's so important. That's very, very important.
But even then, I think it's hard.
No, and everything will have to be equal in order to work, I guess. So I don't know. I think we will see in the future if that ever happens. Like, I don't see it happening right now because he works too much. He barely has time for me, so I don't know.
Let me give you guys some context here. This was filmed in March of last year. As you guys know, I started this podcast, The Debrief, in January of 2025. I was streaming every single day, and this show was the #1 priority. So I can take a little bit of accountability here. Angie is right. I did neglect her quite a bit during this period of time. I did. I was focusing on this show. I was focused on Fresh and Fit. I didn't really devote enough time to my relationship, and I can be honest about that. I was focused at this period of time. That's why we're building up the channel, and we gained, 400,000 subscribers in a fucking year. I was grinding hard, really hard. And I can admit that at that time in March, when she said this, I was not spending as much time with her as usual. But obviously, he's not going to put any of this context in, because I told him that I had started a new show and that I was really focusing on grinding the show, and I was going to make it its own true crime / political commentary channel.
I don't see him doing it, honestly. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, the thing I wanted to really, the thing also I wanted to like really highlight is that she comes from a 2-parent household, strong father, masculine male, takes care of the family. So she comes from a very good background, which is why we're compatible. We both have both of our parents together, nuclear families. The man does what he's supposed to do.
Good values,
right? So we have very similar values when it comes to that. She's met my parents on several occasions. They love her. So,
in that scenario where you've got, let's say 2 wives, right?
Yeah.
But would you also have like a rotation outside of that?
Oh man, I don't know if I'd be able to do it at that point. I don't know.
Now, again, removing context, guys, I was grinding my show at this point. So, like, the last thing I care about is having multiple. You know what I mean? That's why I was in that frame of mind. Like, that's the last thing I care about right now. Like, I'm focused.
Already, I'm like really tired of these girls. So, like, you know.
But in theory, that's something you think, like Elon Musk say. They always say he's the sort of template for how it's supposed to be for a Superman.
But also, I wouldn't want to be in a situation.
Do you agree with that, though? Is that how you see it? That, like, ideally, you'd have like 10 and they'd all and have children with all of them.
I don't know if I'd go that far, and especially with some of these girls like going crazy, like the Ashley St. Clair stuff, where like he's not even claiming that kid and she's suing him. Like, no, man, that's a nightmare. That's
some people in this part of the culture, right?
Okay, so you guys saw that again. He cut out like 3 critical minutes of conversation. I really want you guys to harp on this. So we go from here.
The 2 would be too tough,
You've backtracked on that already.
You backtracked on that already, right?
Some people in this.
And then I look down. He says some people in this culture, right?
You backtracked on that already.
No.
And then we got 2+ minutes, almost 3 minutes of content, right? And then this is when he comes back. He resumes right back here.
We're advocates for this.
That's a nightmare.
That's some people in this part of the culture, right?
Bro, all of that was cut out, man. Like, what? All of that was cut out. All of that. And then my haters want to come in and talk about, you looked weak. Look at you. You backtracked, blah, blah, blah. They don't even have the full context. He cut all that out. All of it, dude. And it's okay. I got a full video exposing all of this coming out probably on Friday. And it's funny because a lot of my haters that talk, they're over here criticizing this interview, criticizing the Netflix documentary, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the arena. I'm one of the gladiators. I'm actually out here fighting for men in general. I'm talking about the problems. I'm echoing what many men can never say. I'm calling it like it is. Not just with but politically, economically, culturally, etc. My haters can never. Nobody knows or gives a who these are. They're nobodies, which is why they got to talk about a somebody. Because like I said before, I explained this yesterday, but I'll tell you guys this. People ask me all the time, Myron, why'd you do the interview? I did the interview because I could bet on my self. That's why. I knew they were going to cut the up and make it look. So what I did was I recorded it, had it ready to go. I recorded a video 8 months in advance. I recorded a video in like June or July in case they do some like this. And now we have the video. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put this thing out on Friday. And it's going to show all the because here's the thing. I know that there's going to be that watch Netflix that are never going to see the side of the internet anyway. They're always going to be blue pill. They're always going to be like and reach, right? They're always going to be like that moronic out of Canada. We're not trying to convert those guys because those guys are lost. But there are going to be some people that say, wait, this is kind of weird. This is a little edited odd. I've seen this guy before on TikTok. He's not that bad. Then they're going to go back and revisit my content. And they're going to see me on college campuses destroying liberal. They're going to see me roasting Anich and Reach for not adding any value to society. They're going to see me doing debates, having discussions on real shit. And they're going to say, damn, I kind of like this guy. He's telling it like it is. And then bam. Half you in here right now probably found me through a hater if we're going to be honest. You probably found me through some soy boy calling me a toxic alpha, even though I never call myself a fucking alpha. Or you might have seen my book somewhere, Deserve Less, Amazon bestseller, by the way. Who knows? But you probably found me through a hater. And a lot of times it's one of these progressive haters that doesn't understand your struggle or give a fuck about your struggle. And then they say, you know what? This guy's saying all the things I wish I could say. You know what? This guy is talking about problems that no one wants to talk about. You know what? He's kind of right about. You know what? He's kind of right about you know what? He's kind of right about people. You know what? He's kind of right about immigration. He's kind of right about foreign policy. Yeah, I like this guy. He's a lot more honest. He doesn't care. He's like my friends. We talk like this when we're in the locker room and nobody's around. Got him. Because the benefit that I have over all these other is the same guy you see on camera is the same guy you see off camera. Same guy through and through. Same guy. I don't have to put a mask on and lie about who I am. I am who I say I am, despite people hating and saying that I'm not. They're jealous. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. It's actually incredible how jealous of me people are. I don't know why, especially when I've helped so many of them. But what can you do, right? What can you do? So that's what it is, guys. So the whole Piers Morgan thing, it's way beyond just HS triggering him. What you guys saw was a Snapchat with a snapshot of a man coming to a crossroads of being confronted with something that goes against his biology, which is his wife having affairs with other men. No guy wants to accept that. No guy will accept that. Sometimes they'll pretend that they accept it or they accept feminism or the destruction that comes with the feminism. But no guy wants that. So anyway, now we're going to get into some higher IQ stuff. But I needed to rally the troops there a little bit because a lot of you guys are sleepwalking through life, bro, if we're going to be honest.